All right, hey guys, Jerry from Showtime Audio. So we have one of the most favorite brand I like. I'm a huge Rolls Royce fan, and it's because of the hand-built aspect of it. They call it bespoke. Bespoke is custom, it's the custom aspect. I love Rolls Royce because everything is handmade, everything is real. Wood is wood, metal's metal, leather's leather. So in a lot of cars, they're fake. The wood is fake wood, the metal is chrome plated plastic, the leather is vinyl or ultra leather or some, whatever. It's not actual leather. And everything just has this weight to it and the handmade feel to it. And that obviously appeals to me. It's amazing to look, especially the older units, right? So on the newer cars, it's a little bit different, but all the older stuff was definitely hand built. This is an 81 Rolls. If you see how much luxury was in this car in 1981, I mean, right now, obviously, it's quite a few years old, right? But in 81, this would have been like one of the top vehicles on the planet. And it just, again, I just love the hand-built aspect. We are going to be doing a stereo upgrade. So head unit, speakers, custom sub, amplifier, the works. So just to show you the hand-built aspect of this vehicle, number one, they love these flathead screwdrivers, which I am not a big fan of, but apparently in 1981 and for Rolls Royce, that was kind of their go-to. Again, this is all leather, aluminum. These panels are made of aluminum. Here, let me show you the amount of stuff. This is all the parts just to get this one door panel off. Again, the hand-built aspect. They use these flathead screws in order to hold the door panel onto the vehicle. In a lot of these cars, again, they were hand-built, right? So it was literally a guy sat there and built or assembled each part of the car, right? So there is always going to be some slight imperfections. But what you have to understand is, especially back then, when you bought a car, the fit and finish of a car was not fantastic, right? Because manufacturing standards weren't like they are today, your tolerances, your gaps. But if you have a person doing it, they can tweak and shift and kind of move stuff around slightly so that all your gaps and all your tolerances and everything is just on the money. And that's what you're paying for, right? Because a lot of times people will get these cars and go, oh man, they're junk. They have holes everywhere. They miss, they this and that. And you have to understand, that's all the adjusting or the tweaking process, because again, manufacturing wasn't at the level that it is today, right? You're talking 1981, man, think of how far back Rolls Royce goes. It was a custom, bespoke process, right? And they built everything by hand. That's a metal bracket. That's a metal bracket. Even these little covers are metal. Those are the covers that hide all the hardware. It's just unreal. And the amount of technology and elegance in a car that's this old is impressive. So again, convertible, but the inside was finished. That was kind of unheard of back then. All these, look at these handles. These are aluminum. All these are metal or aluminum, or they're cast and they're chrome plated. Wood grain, veneered, finished. More of my flat blade screwdrivers. So just to show you the level of disassembly that you have to do to run wires in this car. So the speakers, two of the speakers are here. There's a tweeter and a mid. And we have to get this apart in order to run the wiring, because we're going to need speaker wire, RCAs, quite a few things. But again, we want to do it in a way that the factory would have done it. So we're trying to follow factory wire runs so that we can keep the integrity of the vehicle, because especially on this car. So it's an 81. It's had very, very little done to it. And we don't want to be the ones to destroy it, right? We don't want to be the ones to mess it up. So we pay extra care. We have 2 racks over there full of the interior, the trunk, door panels, and we still have quite a bit more to disassemble. So I want to show you this. So isn't that just gorgeous, right? So not only is it, look at it, it's actually 3 species of wood bonded molded. Look at this step, leather, and it's real wood. So this is not plastic or hydro dipped or something like that. This is actual. There's the number of the series, whoever, the series that it was built for, because it's built all as a set. That's the front. And here's your rear piece. But I mean, that's like high-end furniture, right? So it looks like high-end furniture in a car, right? I mean, that has actual substance to it. That's not just a piece of plastic. Even in a modern car, you don't have this level of excellence. So even the panels, right? So aluminum, wood, leather, and again, all hand assembled. Every part of this was basically hand assembled and handmade. So very few parts of the car were manufactured per se, obviously, other than like the body and some of the mechanical components. But anything as far as the leather, the wood, the carpet, all that stuff was handmade. So here's another, this is a dash piece. So this is this dash piece. So again, wood, it's veneered, right? But I don't know if you can see that. There's one veneer, there's a little tiny like pinstripe, and then another veneer. So, and then you have this also, which matches the veneer that's on the top of the doors. So again, it's one of those where everything is tied together. You always heard me say how whenever we do stuff, we're trying to tie it to the rest of the car. Well, here's where it comes from. So the factory, especially on those bespoke cars or those old custom cars, everything was tied together, right? So even when you, with the leather, right? All the leather, the stitching, the piping, which ties the interior color to the exterior color of the car. There's just so much. Check that out. So, and we'll show you once we get the speaker out, but this speaker's completely dry rotted. It's actually gone. But it's from 1981. So continuing on our Rolls Royce project. So one of the big difficulties with a convertible is bass. So especially with a convertible, but especially with a Rolls Royce, BMW, anything, any European car really, but Rolls Royce in particular. The reason that is that the car is so well isolated from the trunk. So the trunk in this vehicle is actually technically like an entirely separate compartment. There's the gas tank, and then there's a steel pocket where the top drops into. So in essence, the car is completely walled off from the trunk. So you can throw a sub back there, and all it's gonna do is kind of vibrate. You may feel it a little bit, but you're not really gonna get the impact or the power that you would as if the woofer was in the vehicle with you. So, like we always like, we're gonna put a footwell sub in it. So, footwell subs are all the rage apparently. We're gonna be putting a footwell sub in the passenger footwell of this vehicle. There's a ton of leg room in this car, and this is the enclosure. So I'm gonna empty it out in a minute, but I wanted to figure out the airspace. So like you've seen us do before, I'm not a big fan of glassing in the car if I can avoid it. Now, there are many situations where you have to do that. You want every nook and square cranny of the car that you can get. But in this particular case, it's pretty angular and flat. So what we did is, we'll show you in a minute, we built a shell. We're gonna glass it, and then we'll put the wood and the face for the woofer and all that. And we're gonna downfire this woofer forward at the firewall. So it'll be a footwell sub, kind of like our C8 box, but it'll be firing at the firewall itself. The benefit to that is we'll be able to use the stock carpet, which is kind of like a floor mat in that vehicle, and just lay it over the enclosure, and you won't be able to tell that we've done anything to the car. So we always overbuild it. So we build it much bigger than it has to be, and then we fill it with the peanuts in order to figure out what the airspace is. So this box happens to be 12 by 12 by whatever the height is, I don't remember exactly. So by doing that, we can fill it with peanuts, do the math, and then know what our airspace is gonna be. And then we can adjust it accordingly. So like right now, I've adjusted it to be right around this line, which is where I filled it to. This is about 0.54, well, it's 0.54. So yeah, 0.54 cubic feet. Now, obviously you'll have the displacement of the woofer, you'll have the the wood, because we have to flush the woofer because otherwise it'll hit the firewall. We need for it to be able to play. So that's why we overbuild it and then work backwards, right? And then once we're done, we're satisfied, we'll trim the enclosure and put it back on it and seal it. That's why we do it this way also, because now through the woofer opening, we can reinforce or seal the enclosure and make sure that it's sealed and solid. So if you see, so in the vehicle, it sits like this. So what we're doing is we're following the shape of the natural firewall. So we don't want to change the look of the floor as much as we can avoid it. So that's why the box sits this way. So this is flat on the floor, and this is actually below the glove box. Now, the reason it has to have all these really complicated angles is because there's a bracket here and then another, like a module here. So we'll show you in the vehicle, but we need to clear those things, right? We need to be able to get the box in and out. Doesn't help us to build this really cool box if we can't get it in the damn car, right? So we want to make sure we can get it in the car first, and then we can make it pretty. So it's got to work first, pretty second, right? Always. That should be your rule, because I don't care how pretty it is, if it doesn't work, who cares? So this is also a factory bolt or screw that's in the vehicle. So we're going to use that to secure the enclosure and make sure it stays in place and also transfers more of that energy. So things like this little notch is because there's a little metal trim panel here, which we're gonna adjust for. But again, we're trying to make this thing fit, you'll see in a second. We're trying to make it fit as snug as possible. And the reason is, so it can't move left, right, up, or down. The only thing technically it can go is forward and back. But if we secure it, it can't do that either. But the benefit of that, it fitting snugly in the car, is that it helps to transfer the energy, because also now the car acts as part of the enclosure. If this panel is just sitting in air, obviously it's got a little bit more ability to flex. But if it's against the car, a steel panel, another panel, now you're, not only is it this thickness, but it's also the thickness of whatever you're pressing against. So if you're pressing against the metal, it's not gonna move. If you're pressing against the floor, not gonna move. This has all this shape, makes this really, really rigid. Now we're gonna glass it so it'll be even more rigid, but shape is what gives you strength, right? Flat parts do not give you strength. You have to reinforce them, that's why the glass. But anything that has an angle, a V, a 90, roundness, all that creates almost like an I-beam, if you wanna think about it, like it creates structure. So that's the stock bolt, see it right there, screwed in right there? It's actually retained the floor mat. So the way Rolls Royce does their carpets is almost like custom floor mats with leather binding on the edges. So what the enclosure will do, I don't know if you saw that, but it kind of pops into place, goes around that bolt, and then we still have some trimming to do and whatever. And then what'll happen is when it's done, that's in essence, not quite, but that's in essence what it would look like. And if you could see, you still have a ton of footwell space. I mean, you would never know that that's not factory. But the output would be ridiculous, because now top up, top down, you're gonna have a ton of bass, especially because I'd rather put a smaller driver in the car than two giant drivers in the trunk. You're gonna get more output out of the smaller driver in the vehicle than two big woofers in the trunk.
Visit our website at showtimeaudiochicago.com.